subscribe.
Hi everybody and welcome. My name's Alison, the online piano and the online violin tutor. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on spiccato bowing. Now spiccato bowing is just simply when you're sort of playing, I suppose, shorter notes on the violin, but you're also lifting the bow off of the violin. So rather than sort of playing more kind of legato bowing where the bow stays in contact with the string, I'm going to be teaching you how to do spiccato bowing. So it's where you're actually lifting the bow off of the string. So the movement looks like this. So I'm coming off after every time that I'm playing. So for spiccato bowing, you ideally need to be sort of more or less near the hand. So there are sort of different sort of types of spiccato bowing. So you might want to be near the heel, you might want to sort of be a little bit further away from the heel, and not I suppose this would be halfway in the bow for me. You want to sort of be, I guess, in the bottom quarter, that kind of thing, so you're near the hand, or sometimes right on top of the hand. So it entirely depends on what piece of music that you're playing to whether you'd want to be closer to the hand or perhaps just a touch further away from the hand. But again, that depends on what music you're doing, but the movement's going to be pretty much exactly the same. So you have the closer to the heel you are, the more control you have at the bow. The further to the point you are, the less control. So trying to do spiccato here, it's very difficult for me to do because I'm getting a lot of bounce, because the control is in my hand, which is all the way down here, so I'm not able to get so much control, which is why you're getting that bounce, and it's very difficult to get rid of that bounce. So which is why we wouldn't really do spiccato bowing down at the point, we do it at the heel. Now how I explain this to my students is basically, if you think of your arm or your actual hand, you know, the actual hand that's holding the bow, you want to be moving that in a U shape. If you imagine there's a U, a letter U, right here where my hand would be, if my hand follows that U shape, then that's the shape I'm going to be creating on the violin. So you can also imagine there's a U just above the strings of the violin. So if I put a U here, a U shaped here now, and I follow it with my finger, then you'll be able to see that's the movement that my bow is going to be making. So when I bring the bow down, I'm kind of going to the right hand side of the U, or my right hand side of the U. When I bring the hand down in contact with the string, push it up, I'm going along the bottom part of the U, and then I'm going back up again. So if there's a U where my hand is, I can do it that way, and I'm just following the shape of this kind of imaginary U that I've got right here where my hand is. Or if you want to follow the shape of an imaginary U on the bridge here, or just near where the strings are on your violin, it's completely up to you. But that's in a sense what you're doing. I like to sort of think that you want to more or less follow the hand, not really the bow, because it's the hand that's doing the actual movement, not this part of the bow that's, or this part of the bow that's actually here. It's actually the hand that's kind of creating that U. So you don't want to lift the bow too high up. I'm just showing you for demonstration purposes, but I'm doing a little U here. So as I'm doing this, I'll put a U in. So that's pretty much staccato. When I want to go further down here, if I want to do some sort of different type of spiccato bowing, I'm just sort of doing a smaller kind of mini U down here. But I'm still doing a U here, like this, which creates the movement there. So you can see how the bow's going off the violin and back up again. So that's how to do spiccato bowing. It's not a particularly tricky movement to do. There's lots more very tricky bowing techniques. It's very difficult to get a good sustained sound with it, and I mean, a good consistent sound probably rather than sustained. It's very easy to kind of make them uneven. You need lots of practice to make them nice and even. course you've got to get that going with the fingers as well. But the ultimate basis of that technique, the foundations of that technique, is that you're lifting the bow off and on, and you're making a U shape, because obviously if you're going down, you've got to move the bow up, you've got to move the bow up, as in move it further along, and then lift the bow up on the string, bow goes down, move it further back down, and the bow comes up. So down, move along, up, down, move along, up, down, move along, up, down, move along, up. Put it obviously together, it's not quite as mechanical as that, but if you put it together and you do it faster, that's what you will create. But if you imagine that kind of, that U shape, down, move along, up, down, move along, up, then you should be well on the way to getting spiccato bowing. I would advise just practicing that on its own first with the open strings, and then maybe you can kind of just pop it in with a scale. And just experiment on it there. Sorry, my strings aren't in tune at the moment. So just experiment on doing it a little bit at the heel, a little bit further down. You can always experiment. You can see how far you can go before you start to kind of lose that control. So the further up and the further down you go on the bow, you get a slightly kind of different texture and a different type. But again, that will all just depend on what kind of piece you're doing. And I would have thought by the time you've kind of got to the ability of being able to use spiccato in any pieces that you're doing, that you will automatically just position the bow where it needs to be. You'll know where you need to sort of feel the bow to be. Whether it needs to be closer to the heel or a little bit further away from the heel, you'll probably kind of sense that, and you'll probably know that anyway. But as long as you're following that U, then that's pretty much it. So that's kind of a very kind of basic explanation of spiccato bowing. Thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you like my videos and want to see some more, and I'll catch you all next time.
Subscribe.